Howdy, folks. I'm Colonel Sanders, and you're not. Most of you who see this are probably going to be seeing my channel for the first time, not even know who I am, and probably wondering why I'm dressed like the KFC guy. For those who are new, I'm Colonel Sanders' three great nephew. I come from his brother Clarence, who is my two great grandfather. Not a lot of information about his brother or his family out there, but I have dedicated the last 3 years of my online presence to upholding the family legacy and teaching people the history and learning things myself. 2024, to sum up everything that has happened to me. It started off with my new relationship with Kentucky Fried Chicken. For several years, I did not like them. I was not friendly with them, and I had some pretty nasty things to say about them, much like the Colonel did himself when things started changing and not being up to his standards. Well, last year, Kentucky Fried Chicken invited my family in out to talk with them because I went viral on TikTok talking about the family history and our opinions on the brand during current times. And they decided rather than continue the feud, we would finally sit down and talk. And we reconciled with each other. I don't work for them. I don't represent them in any way, shape, or form other than I represent Uncle Harley and the history of this family in the fast food world and more, because there's more than just the chicken in this story. In 2024, I decided to leave TikTok. That was my primary platform. I moved to YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 10 years, but I never posted my family history on here. And after 10 years and then starting to push my content that I had on the other platforms on here, we finally reached monetization status, which I'm new to. I don't know how to ask people to join the memberships or even if it's worth doing. It's an evolving thing. The ad revenue is an evolving thing. This is a new journey for me because this is now my job, making the videos. In the last year of videos, I've learned so much about Kentucky Fried Chicken, about other restaurants, about how to be a content creator in general. For about almost 2 years, I've been raising ducks, and back in October, my ducks were killed. Unfortunately, a coyote got into their pen at night and killed 3 of my 4 ducks. So 2024 hasn't necessarily been the greatest or the worst. It has its up and downs. I'm not the only one who is out there that's had any kind of loss in their life. Some of you have had worser loss. Maybe you lost a pet, a family member, and my heart goes out to those who have this year. A blessing as well is I became an uncle. My sister had her first child, and it was my first nephew. Because for Colonel Sanders as well, that is his first 4th great nephew on his brother's side. That is my great great grandfather's first 3rd great grandchild. And it just means a lot that the legacy has a generation past me now and my siblings to continue through if they choose to continue what I do. So 2024 has been full of blessings in disguises, and some downs. I moved to Kentucky. I decided to move here to continue the legacy. I decided if I was going to be talking about Uncle Harley, Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, whatever you want to call it, I wanted to be defending the legacy, especially against impersonators that are trying to do what I'm doing, but as in they want people to go to their pages and go to them for the authority of all things KFC. And I can appreciate people who want to keep my family story alive and share the accurate stuff. But I also don't really appreciate when people are impersonating Uncle Harley and wanting people to associate it all on them and not the sources of where things have come from. They want to be remembered. They want that attention on there. So I came here to Kentucky to represent this family legacy officially. And that was one of the biggest steps I've taken in 2024. And I'm excited to see where 2025 goes. I don't know what will happen with me and Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know what will happen with YouTube, with Instagram. TikTok's looking at a ban in 19 days. So we'll see what happens with my platform on there. They've shadow banned my page on there for so long, though it doesn't really matter to me. But that is where I got my start. Many of you on there pushed me to go to YouTube before they shadow banned my page on there. And I do not regret it. We've had a blast this year making gaming content, talking about the family history, and all the stuff that we do. Just had a blast this year. So I want to thank all my followers, all the new followers. If you're new here, I encourage you to follow, especially if you like chicken. We got something for everybody here. Again, many of you, this will be your first time seeing me. Maybe it's not your first time seeing me, but your first time seeing me on YouTube. 2024 seemed to be the year that people are actually interested in learning about Colonel Sanders and wanting to know the full story, and also wanting to hear the truth of whether some of the rumors are true or not. Because the years before that I talked about it, whether it was through a comment section or a video, there wasn't a whole lot of people interested in it. Some people said he's dead, give it up, move on. A lot of haters, that kind of stuff. And I pushed through a lot of that. And this year seems to be the year that people are actually caring about it. I would not be here doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for my viewers encouraging me to continue doing it. I never once thought people would be interested in hearing about the family legacy or the stories around it. I never thought that this would lead me to meeting other branches of my family to learn their perspectives and stories as well, to combine them all and get one full story about Colonel Sanders and this family's history in Kentucky Fried Chicken. I never thought that would happen. Growing up, nobody believed me about being related to the Colonel. Nobody cared. I got bullied for saying it. So it doesn't come as a surprise for me to think that nobody wants to know about it. The first time that I made a video talking about defending the legacy is when someone accused him of being a slave owner, and I decided to throw my suit on TikTok and ask, why do you think he was a slave owner? Is it because of the white suit? And I went into the history of why he wore a white suit. It used to be a black suit and a beige or gray suit. He didn't wear the white suit. Pete Harmon of Salt Lake City, Utah, the first franchisee, he suggested to Uncle Harley wearing a white suit to cover the flour stain so he didn't have to do dry cleaning as often when cooking. And it also made him look more professional in the restaurant industry. That's why he started wearing a white suit. But people associate the white suit with the Klan or a slave owner for some reason. And because he was with fried chicken and a white man, these people online were just spreading rumors. And it's nothing new. These rumors are gone around for years, but I was finally fed up with it, so I made a video about it. And that brought in about 10,000 people, which is more viewers, more followers than I ever thought I'd ever see in my life. Fast forward, I got 300,000 now on TikTok, 60,000 on Instagram. So when I got that boost, it boosted my ego, and it also showed me people were interested in hearing these stories. But at that time, I only had my family's perspective, our side of the stories of everything. And there's always two sides to a story, right? So through what I was posting, we got in contact with other family that we didn't know existed. And they had stories to share as well. Both of us had inaccurate stories, remembered wrong, or maybe we just had something wrong. And the stories of the other side of the family fixed the stories that we had wrong. Like my side might have had something confused, their side had something confused, and my side stories lined up with their side stories that weren't confused, and it made the confusion parts make sense of why we were confused and what actually had happened. And that process has continued through this year to where we got so many stories about the history that we're able to talk about it and share it as if we were all there together. 2024 has also been the year where I discovered what I believe to be my uncle's secret 11 herbs and spices. I posted my theory to YouTube. Not a whole lot of people compared to the other fake recipes that are out there or other theories saw it. Now, a few years ago, when Colonel Sanders' nephew is actually his step-nephew, and he doesn't have the recipe in regards to what he shared because that was absolutely bogus. Salt is not part of the 11, and oregano number 4 in his list does not exist. And we figured that out and posted it. I did a lot of research and a lot of contacting throughout the family. And I did a lot of contacting throughout other companies that knew Uncle Harley, like Mary & Kate Spices. And I got some information. I also had some packaging from years ago that my family had kept. And these revealed public ingredients that had changed. And I put those together, and I ended up finding 11 herbs and spices through a theory that I put together. I thought cardamom would be the 11th ingredient because my grandfather remembers that flavor, and it also falls under the category of things that Uncle Harley said the 11th fell under during his time of creating it. He said that the 11th ingredient was hard to find. He had a special order, and it was expensive, and you couldn't get it in a regular store. He told my grandfather that back when he was alive. And I followed that, and there was a few options, but cardamom was the one that my grandpa remembered the flavor the most of. So I put that in my theory. Mary & Kate Spices showed allspice. How you mimic allspice is cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. So when I broke allspice up, and then the rest of the ingredients that I had, it equaled 11 ingredients, plus salt and MSG. So that's posted. I don't know if anybody will see that in 2025, but 2024 was the year the Colonel's real nephew, I'm talking about myself, revealed 11 herbs and spices. Not in no bullcrap way, not in a way pretending that we have the list willed to us, because he didn't have a will. Not pretending that somebody in the family that knew it handed it down. It was through research. The Colonel's nephew did research and revealed what he believes to be the closest thing to the original recipe. I did that to disprove Joe Lettington, mainly. I'm being that petty. And to also compare it to all these other fake ones out there. Because if you compare my notes with their recipes, you'll be able to distinguish what it makes more sense and what is just plain old bogus. So, not many people saw it this year. I think 3,000 people saw that this year. 5,000 people saw me do the explanation video a couple weeks ago. Here's to hoping 2025 shows the truth on a lot of things. It is not to get back at Kentucky Fried Chicken. My video is simply to disprove and compare notes to other recipes that are out there and what I believe to be most accurate compared to those and why. Whenever I post something, I either tell you if it's speculation, I tell you if it's a joke, or I show the receipts of what I am saying so that you could go and look it up yourself. Excited to see where 2025 takes us. All right. Ciao.